Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 138 of the SplashCast, Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I am your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined, we are your HBCU homeboys, and we are still celebrating Super Bowl Sunday on this beloved Monday. Have a seat, relax, let's kick it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is when it comes to Monday Night Raw. We cover our HBCU news around the culture, news around football, and news around basketball, as well as we do follow. Started up with the pregame as well. Go back and listen to that if you're listening to this as well. First off, we're gonna start off with our HBCU news around the culture, man. Got a lot of interesting topics to talk about. First, we're going to talk about when it comes to HBCU culture, you know what it is. It's the bands. We talk about everything else with football, especially basketball and football, but the bands are always the star of the show. Well, it is also Mardi Gras season. And most of the HBCUs that have the bigger bands, that have the more well-known bands, are in the SWAC. So there's a lot of Southwest. There's a lot of Mardi Gras, parades. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's this thing that's been circling around when Langston's band was in a parade, and if you notice, if you're looking here, the cop from New Orleans is in the road, leaning on the road, and he ends up. Let's see if it'll play. Yeah, there it goes. He ends up pushing the band member, and the band member's like, yo, what are you doing? Like, we just sitting here talking, and they caught it on tape. And the band member was pissed. Now, luckily, the rest of his bandmates held him from doing something because the cop kind of looked at him like he just, like, for no reason. Like, they had already stopped. Like, what you want him to do? And this is the cop, by the way. I have no problem putting his name and face out there on the internet. His name is Alfred Russell. He's the one that, allegedly, he's the one that elbowed the man. So, how you feel about this, man? I got a lot of things to say about this.
I do want to clear about this. Is actually not Langston. This is LB Landry High School.
LB Landry High School. You're right. You're right. It's a high school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a high school kid that you push. Like, it's Mardi Gras. The kid is clearly here doing a performance. The kid is not following you. The kid's not bothering you. The kid's not being an asshole. He's in formation. As a police officer, one thing that you guys are notorious for being is in what? Formation. And when you're in formation, you stand where you're supposed to stand. You don't let anybody get into space. So you should understand that more than anybody else. And just pushing a high school kid, like, make sense to me. Like, how? Why? And if you're an adult, and that man is definitely an adult, and you find yourself at your job pushing small children, there are some things about your personal self you need to reevaluate. They allegedly opened an investigation, and I'm interested to hear what they find.
Man, so here's where I'm going to start. I know, since they got your picture, we've done a little research on you. This ain't your first rodeo. This ain't your first parade. This ain't your first outburst. This ain't your first questionable behavior when it comes to minors. Like, all of this is telltale. How do you get mad when you in the way? Like, when you in the way?
Yeah.
You there? Oh, yeah, you there.
Yeah.
How do you get mad when you're in the way? That's the part that bothers me. Like, you can't be mad. You can't be in the way and mad. And shout out to that high school for stopping this young man from, because he was ready to go. I hope
he was with it. Yeah, I'm ready to whoever I need to grab. Slap.
You froze over there, brother.
Well, while I'm frozen, you can see Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champs. But yeah, this is just terrible overall, embarrassing, and it's embarrassing for the police. Like, police specifically, they've done a lot and need to do more to kind of clean up their their interactions with black people. And then during this type of thing, this is what you do. Is
bro, and you black, bro. You a black cop.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. You want to, there you go. I don't know what happened. Did you change the camera or something?
Refresh. Power cycle.
Not shout out to the policeman, but I hope they do it, like you said, complete that investigation on that, man. And I hope that that guy is relegated to, I don't want to say I don't want you to get fired, but I want you to be, hell, get
Horse
fired,
poop
go somewhere
pickup.
else.
Horse poop pickup. That's what they need to have you do.
Yep, yep, yep. So y'all know Super Bowl weekend. The Super Bowl has had a gospel celebration quietly as kept since like 1999, and it has been a slow build.
Quietly.
It has been a slow build. I think it really took off. I don't say took off, but it got a little bit more notoriety last year when DC Young Fly hosted it in LA, or was that 2 years ago? But now it's called the Super Bowl Soulful Celebration. And they spotlight HBCU players. They do a lot of things. And one thing, the person that they spotlighted as the HBCU Spotlight Player of the Year was FAMU's Marquise Bell, who is a projected 5th-round pick, I believe.
No, he's played for the Cowboys.
Yeah. He was supposed to be a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, he played for the Cowboys. Huge playmaker, they say. He was second on team in tackles this year with 94 tackles, 60 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles. He played with FAMU from 2019 to 2021. This is, he's another one of those guys who we knew was going to be a good football player coming out of college, but for some reason, it just takes HBCU guys a little bit longer to get a chance. But overall, fantastic. Now, I will tell you something that's a little bit funny. If y'all do get a moment, just go look up Super Bowl Soulful. This flyer is surely something. First of all, they got Cedric the Entertainer on this flyer, and I was so confused about who this man was for so long. I was like, this ain't Cedric the Entertainer. This is a doppelganger for sure.
With that hat on.
And I'll make sure to clip this so y'all can know he's the host. And I'm sure, because Cedric the Entertainer has a television show, he's got to have some photos that actually look like him. I don't know who the hell this man is. Looks like they face tuned everything about not T.I. No. T-Pain. His face is just completely smooth. Earth, Wind, and Fire, boy. Jesus be offense. And Kirk Franklin looking like Plies. Kirk Franklin.
Plies' older brother. Yep. So that's soulful. Soulful celebration. I actually did watch.
And somehow Robin Thicke snuck himself in there, bro. I can't believe they let you cheat on that black woman and then be in a soulful celebration. But hey, judge ye not, lest ye be judged. So
business. That was dope, man. Shout out to Marquise Bell, man. And other news around HBCU. So if y'all remember, we did a deep dive with Justin Martin, who is a PGA professional down in Florida, Hampton alum. And he mentioned Eastside Golf is one of the black-owned golf brands. If you're trying to get into golf, Eastside Golf is one of the black-owned golf brands that you can patron and support. These two young men from Morehouse secured $3.4 million in funding for the black-owned golf brand. And I look for them to take the next step, man. So shout out to Eastside Golf.
Congratulations. This made me very happy to see. They make some super dope stuff. The opportunity to kind of see them continue to, move in the right direction is very exciting. And yeah, I'm interested to see the new stuff they come out with.
Well, I would love for them to be able to be a sponsor and be a contributor to some of the local golf teams, and especially in urban areas, as well as some of the local golf matches. I remember when I played in high school, and we would play like Woodward, or we would play some of those teams that had established golf programs. What they would do is they would get, I don't want to say sponsorships, but sponsorships. They would get funding, and they would get new uniforms. They would get new equipment and all of that stuff. Well, Eastside, this is a chance for you guys to be a pioneer and work with some of the black and urban schools in the city. So I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait for these collaborations. I can't wait. And don't hate APS and Decatur schools and all that. Don't hate on this. Y'all embrace it. Y'all embrace it.
Oh, they're going to be hating. Find a way to circumvent the hate. Prepare for it.
Yes, sir.
The hate is on the way.
In other HBCU news, yes, I guess you could say recruiting season normally ends in December now because the early signing period for the
Not if you
for the
FAMU and just got a coach.
for
Oh, my bad.
the Power Five. For the Power Five, I try to step right over that shot. I try to step right over. Try to step right over that shot, bro. Oh, I played it. You couldn't hear it, but my bad. There you go.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, there's still a sign. The regular national signing day is still in February, and it kind of gets lost because all of the recruiting classes for the Power Five are normally done. But one thing that has happened as a result of the early signing period, NIL, and all of that stuff is HBCUs are starting to flourish more and more and more. Quietly as kept. According to Lights on College Sports, Jackson State got the #2 recruiting class, top 10 FCS high school recruiting classes, as well as Bethune-Cookman got #7 and Grambling got #10 in the FCS. Now, all these other schools get a lot, especially in FCS, they get a lot of transfers. So the key word in this story is that they get high school recruiting. And a lot of coaches, a lot of people were making fun of Clark Atlanta's new coach when he said, hey, D1 and Division 2 is now the new Division 1. It's starting to look like that.
And this is very interesting because all of these coaches this is T's first year. This is, I can't think of the gentleman at Cookman. This is T's second year. This is the gentleman at Bethune-Cookman's, this will be his second season. So both of those guys are in their second season. And Grambling, he just got hired at this spot. This is actually Hugh Jackson, who coached the last season. So it's not only that these teams are coming in and recruiting their asses off, but they're doing it fast and effective so that, other teams, specifically like Hampton, hey, man, if these guys can come in and get these recruiting classes up and running, then yeah, you as established coaches who've been there 4 or 5 seasons. Oh, and your boy, Chinnis, he is in the hunt. So as these things continue to move forward, you better pay attention. You better find a way to get these players or somebody else is going to have them.
Yeah, man.
And your job.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. I'm kind of sad about Southern University not being up there. And one thing about Southern that kind of caught me off guard is all of these other coaches have announced their staffs. Southern coach ain't announced no staff, no nothing. And there has been a quiet news on the Fred McNair front. The Fred McNair front from Alcorn State going to Texas Southern, then not getting a job. That has been quiet on that front. So there's a lot of other coaching news that still has to go on at HBCUs. But it looks like we're going in the right direction. Now, I will say, hey, anticipate the hate. That might actually be the name of this. Anticipate the hate. Y'all know once we start figuring stuff out when it comes to anything with the majority, they start changing the rules. Anticipate them changing the rules, dog, because you know they're going to do it. You know they're going to do it.
Soon and very soon. And if you don't think that they will, then you're a new fool.
Speaking of new coaches, man, former Prairie View A&M star KJ Black joins the Atlanta Falcons staff. KJ Black, I think he's going to be he's now an offensive assistant. I believe he's going to be the quarterbacks coach, if I'm not mistaken, or assistant quarterbacks coach. He's going to work with the quarterbacks. He was an all SWAC quarterback with Prairie View back in the day, and now he has worked with the Rams in the last 2 years, and they're bringing him over from the Rams. He worked with Zach Robinson while he was a passing game coordinator. He was part of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship in 2022. He worked and helped with Matt Stafford, and definitely helped Matt Stafford get his second Pro Bowl honors. I didn't know Matt Stafford's only been a Pro Bowl one time, but so shout out to KJ Black, man. Hopefully, with this quarterback that we about to get, you could work with him pretty well.
This is exciting because Raheem continues to build this super team of this super coaching staff. It's diverse, it's young, And it's a very likable coaching staff. Everybody's excited to see how it plays together. And that was always his selling point, was he's a guy that everybody's going to want to come coach with. And I'm excited to see what it looks like. This is also a direct pipeline to HBCUs. Hopefully, we will get some HBCU players, because there are a ton of them who are just sleeping giants. At the end of the day, there are good HBCU football players. And I know that we've drafted some good players, but there are definitely some HBCU football players the Falcons could and should have that can contribute to this team winning. Let me be very clear. We're looking for winners around here.
And I don't want to pigeonhole him, but to me, this kind of also tells you a little bit about the type of quarterback that we are going to pursue. I don't think you're going to get a stagnant quarterback. Now, he was able, like I said, I don't want to pigeonhole KJ, because he was able to work with Matt Stafford. And Matt Stafford is not, a mobile quarterback. But for the way that KJ Black and the offense used to run at Prairie View, I look for us to get a mobile quarterback.
Has some mobility in there.
And he will be able to give him some more expertise. So shout out to him, man. And finally, over on the Prairie View front, man, James Harden debuts the Prairie View A&M Adidas Harden Volume 8. If you remember, Harden had some of his best years in Houston, and he is still very, very popular and prevalent in the Houston scene. And he debuted sponsorships and all, and he debuted the Prairie View Harden 8s.
Yeah, this is exciting. I think that there are 5 HBCU sneakers that will come out. This is the very first. James Harden he's been on the forefront of really specifically sneakers, and I'm happy to see him now involving himself with the HBCUs. Anthony Edwards will have a shoe with University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Dame has one with Alabama State. Trey Young, Atlanta superstar, will have the purple and gold Trey 3s for Alcorn. And Dame will also be providing Grambling. No, excuse me. Donovan Mitchell will be providing Grambling with the Dawn issue 5. So, yeah, great to see our NBA all-stars, superstars, taking the time and finding a way to uplift HBCUs, be involved with HBCUs, and giving them the elite footwear. That's something that's needed, and it's excellent branding, cross branding for both people.
I think this is great great moves by Adidas. For some reason, Nike that we know of hasn't been as prevalent at HBCUs as they could be, and the fact that this rollout involves multiple schools, there's always been a rivalry between Nike and Adidas to get more team-based contracts, get more team-based players. The AAU specifically is where they normally would battle, and now they're going to the HBCUs and everything. So this is a great move for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to shoot Nike to death. They have some stuff with different. They did the Yard Runners thing. That was really good this year. But as far as like teams, you're right. You got FAMU and LeBron, which is technically Nike, and you have Howard and Jordan, which is also kind of technically Nike. But yeah, I think
you separated Jordan and Nike when we were talking about the other stuff now. So that's why I put them together.
You're right. It's something ish. But yeah, I hope that, this is, it's like everything else. As you see Adidas and you see your subsidiary brands of Jordan and LeBron do this, then maybe Nike, hey man, it's about time for you to do the right thing too here. So, once again, more notoriety, more visibility, it supports and grows HBCUs. And it's got to be cool as hell to get your own like 8 Hardens. That is.
I mean, it's cool. I don't like the shoe, but I mean, it's cool. I like the cause. I'm not really a fan of the shoe. It's not for me, but it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the HBCU segment, news around the culture. We are going to take about 30 seconds, and we'll be right back with our football segment. What are we going to talk about? NCAA coaching carousel, the Super Bowl, of course, Jordan and cleats, And then we'll also talk about some of the superlatives that were handed out before the Super Bowl, as well as the Hall of Fame class was announced. And we got some more draft specials and some more updates on some scammers out of Mississippi. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And I'm drinking.
Oh, I'm not. I took a lot of tequila shots yesterday. We'll be right back.
I mean, how many times your brother went 2 Super Bowls?
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 138 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. Got a few things we're going to talk about today, including college football, the Super Bowl, and some other awards that were handed out.
Let's do it.
Let's do it as Norwood drinks. So let's start out with the coaching carousel in college continues. Y'all like that?
Alliteration.
I think we talked about it before, but I'm not sure. But we're going to talk about it again. Chip Kelly is leaving UCLA to become the next offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Excuse me, say what?
Chip Kelly is leaving UCLA as the head coach to be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
So you left being the manager to be the assistant to this manager. So you was Dwight. I mean, no, you was Michael Scott and decided to be Dwight.
You are Dwight. This is all about money. This is all about money.
Office humor for some of us who are culturally relevant.
It's all about money, and it's also I think Chip Kelly was probably about to get ran out of UCLA. They're going to the Big Ten. They needed a rebrand anyway. I think this was under the table.
They got one too.
This was probably a mutual parting of ways.
Dissolution.
Yeah, it's just gonna be. They framed it as he's gonna go. Man, they framed it as he's gonna go to UC. He's leaving, but I think he was fired.
I love it. I love the term mutual dissolution because people don't know what it means. They're like, well, huh? Yeah, no, neither one of us were happy. Yeah, I think that
I know what that means.
This is a very interesting move to me because
look at the Eagles fan. Chip is a bum.
Them not pushing him out of that seat makes it look like he kind of ran out of there. And then specifically where he ran is to Ohio State. Ohio State, you might not be there long. Realistically, if Ryan Day doesn't get it together this season, then they're going to go in a different direction. So this could be like a one and done type of situation for you. You got to hope that you hitch yourself to the right wagon or I mean, is he like the coach in waiting? Do you think he's like reverse Doc Rivers?
Where I don't believe in any coach in waiting system after I've seen how the Commanders did Eric Bieniemy. I don't believe in that at all in anything. No, I don't think he's the coach in waiting. I think that this is, like you said, I agree with you 2,000%, 2,000,000%. We've been pieing together too long. This is a last-ditch effort by Ryan Day at Ohio State because they sick of you, low key. You can't lose. One thing in college you cannot do is lose to your rival 3 or 4 times in a row. You can't do it and survive. You can't.
Yes, you can. Florida does it.
No. They lost.
Lou Napier.
That's 2. I said 3, 4. If he lose and gets swamped out again this year, over with.
Peace.
He's out.
Adios, my boy. Boy.
Gerard, and shout out to the world. Gerard Mayo is the only one that did the coaching and waiting thing. But, I mean, New England ain't really like every other organization. Not too many organizations.
And the difference is he got it in writing. He said, wait, no. Go ahead, put it in my contract. That's got to be the most confident black man I've ever known in the world. Oh, as soon as you leave here, and I know he was probably like, oh, Bill, they ready for you to go. And I ain't push you out, but that's my job. Don't let nobody sit in my seat.
Yeah, man. So this is interesting. I will say this is the perfect spot for him. The Big Ten, ironically, has a lot of chip type offenses, especially Ohio State, with how they run their offense. Um, Now, y'all know Chip Kelly is real big about being in shape. One thing they're going to be is in shape because they're going to run 100 and something plays.
They will be fast. They will be fast.
And they already got, and
I,
Ohio State is a recruiting juggernaut. So you take this could marry and be kind of crazy. When you take his system and add Ohio State athletes, it could be kind of crazy over there. But
it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on your defense, though, because the speed that they're playing with, you have to be in really good shape, and you have to be. You're just gonna get. There's gonna be a lot of possessions.
you got to be
Like
deep.
when
You
you
got to
play with
play
it,
22.
when you're playing with an offense that's a little bit slower and more methodical, you can go out there and you won't get gassed nearly as fast. But Chip gonna throw a 1, 2, 3. If it don't work, punt it, do it again. Like Chip Kelly is like me playing college football on the video game. I either want to score or let them score and give me the ball back. I want the ball. I want to see how many chances I get in the end zone. So it should be interesting for the changes that the Ohio State defense needs to make, because you're not going to be able to play like you played in the past and be successful. You're going to have to make some accommodations.
If I'm a running back, I
Sneaky
don't
said he
know if I
might
go
be.
there.
Easy,
I don't
coach.
know if I would go there if I'm a running back, man. That Chip ain't known
Oh
for
yeah.
running the ball. But I mean, he
Nah,
did put a couple
they had a
in the
couple.
league from UCLA. So
Yeah, like they had LaMichael James. They had a bunch of like
Michael James. Okay.
receipt. I mean, that was when Chip Kelly was with Oregon. Now after that, I think that's the last time he's really had elite players. Now that I think he'll have elite players, but yeah, I would expect the teams to look like less like Dan Lanning, Oregon, and more like Chip Kelly, Oregon. Fast,
Yeah.
kind of small, mobile, not nearly as physical.
Yep.
That might be interesting though in a conference with a lot of linemen.
Well, that's what my thing. You went from the Big Ten to the Big Ten quietly, but UCLA did make a move, and this is why I said I think they kind of pushed. I think they pushed Chip out the door. Deshaun Foster is now the new UCLA head coach. Folks have been asking for Deshaun Foster to be a head coach or get an opportunity to be something of power at UCLA for a long time. And the fact that they brought him back now, you might not remember, for some of y'all, Deshaun Foster was definitely that dude at UCLA. He was definitely a really good running back for the Carolina Panthers when they went to the Super Bowl. I think he went to the Super Bowl with Del Homey, if I'm not mistaken. Jake Delhomme as the quarterback.
Hadn't heard that name in ages.
Yeah, when they played when they lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots. So he played then. He was a hell of a running back, and he's well respected and well liked. And really, if you've looked at UCLA, they have turned out some good running backs. Zach Charbonnet to be one that go to the league. And he is very instrumental in recruiting. So I think this is a home run move. Hopefully they give him enough time to actually rebuild that roster in his image.
Excellent guy, man. I had a chance to briefly speak to him a couple years ago at the Sound Body Camp here in Houston, Texas. Excellent young black coaching prospect. I think that this is a very solid rebrand, like you said. I think that the Jordan piece with this, he's going to be able to hopefully recruit something a little bit less UCLA of the past. UCLA has been notoriously kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
They're just they're just John Wooden. They're John Wooden. They're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They're very pun intended here, whitewashed. So yeah, getting Deshaun Foster here to UCLA, I think that probably makes him a little bit more competitive, moves him into the new millennium, and has him probably recruit a little bit different.
Yeah, and I would say UCLA on the football field is not as prevalent as they were and should be on the basketball court. They're the basketball school. USC was the football school. So hopefully, like you said, Deshaun Watson does great, man. Does great. In other news, more coaching news, this guy keeps getting jobs. Bill O'Brien is working towards a deal to be the next head coach at at Boston College. If you remember, he goes back and forth between the Patriots and Alabama, I want to say. He was thought to be the next offensive coordinator for Ohio State. And then that kind of fell through. So, shout out to...
I mean, this is an excellent hire. This is not a guy that I don't think anybody is really interested in. I don't think that anybody's interested in Boston college football except for Matt Ryan. Congrats, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the expectation is. I don't expect him to go there to Boston College and blow the doors off.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Boston College got a little Jalen Milroe at quarterback, and he already been documented that he told Jalen Milroe, "You suck." So I don't know what you're gonna do with that roster. The little, I hate to say little talent that you have, because they actually were very surprising in the ACC. But I mean, at least he's gonna be able to be a head coach again. This is one of them hires where he's probably gonna be there for a while. Ain't nobody gonna hire him.
He gonna be there, they gonna be there, and not gonna win not a thing. Nope. This is completely inconsequential. Congratulations on getting the job.
Nobody cares. Other coach carousel news, of course, the bomb was dropped a long time ago that Saban was retiring from Alabama. We covered the fallout of that, including Caleb Williams, the number one safety, going to Ohio State. Now Nick Saban is he has joined ESPN as an analyst and will appear mostly on Game Day. If you listen to the SplashCast, we kind of saw that coming. We actually kind of saw him about to retire, because I kept saying, and we talked about it, I was like, man, Nick Saban has been on Game Day a lot. And then he was on Pat McAfee, and I was like, dog, the way that he's moving, he's trying to position himself to retire. He retired, and the last thing is they paid him, but he's also, I think this coincides, and they pulled this trigger because of Lee Corso's health. Lee Corso getting older and older. They've already replaced Lee Corso with Pat McAfee. So now they're going to slide McAfee over and bring in the older coach to be the new Lee Corso. And I think that's a great move, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this is about this is the Nick Sabanist job that you can get. He's not going to ever stop watching football, so he's going to know exactly what's going on. He works a little bit. He does his job, and then he goes home. He makes tons of money, and he hangs out with his wife. I think her name is Miss Jerry. Congratulations, Nick Saban. I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm interested to hear what he has to say. He's always got an intriguing and interesting way to look at the game. And, yeah, I mean, Lee Corso, job well done, too. Let's congratulate people who've had long careers. Hey, if it is time for you to move on and do something else or take care of yourself, do it, bro.
Man, shout out to Nick Saban trading one paycheck for two. He's still going to be working and has an office at Alabama, and he's going to be on Game Day with ESPN. Man said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm still going to get this money, though. So I think it's a great move, like you said, man.
I'm tired, but I'm going to get this money.
The Senior Bowl also happened the last couple of weeks, and Spencer Rattler was named the Senior Bowl MVP. Shout out to Spencer Rattler. Y'all better not fall for the trick. I think he would be a good backup.
This is trick. This is bag. Put it together. What you got? Trick bag, baby.
Yeah, man. So, but shout out to Spencer Rattler, man. One of those guys. He was really, really good, but it was also kind of like unfortunate circumstances. Like Caleb Williams came in right after you, and it was like, well, you got to go.
And also, I don't know if we want to call him really good. I think that the best way
I said it was really good that he got the MVP. I didn't say he was.
He has amazing flashes. Yeah. He's inconsistent to me. I don't know if he can get it done all the time. But like I said, and I knew that he did it in the season. When it comes down to it, he's gonna have a moment where he's gonna say, that kid might be good. Then you're going to forget about all the times when he wasn't good. But he's going to trick you, and he can do it. When he has brilliant flashes. He has the talent. Good enough.
He has the talent to make you think that you could coach him. Because the talent that he displays, I'm not saying he's this guy. I'm saying in the format that he plays with the off-schedule throws, throwing from multiple angles, being able to move around the pocket in the way that he moves, and taking the gunslinger mentality. A lot of people were comparing him. His high school comp was Patrick Williams. I mean Patrick. Dang, what's his name?
Mahomes. I
Patrick
think the
Mahomes. It was
safer
Patrick
answer,
Mahomes.
what you probably can maybe believe in a little bit more is, and I know this is really getting to it here, a poor man's Baker Mayfield.
Sure, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what that means.
You do.
No, I
You
don't.
know, okay, Baker Mayfield's probably great value. So then
He's
Spencer
Dallas
Rattler's
though.
probably Dollar General.
That's not
You know,
entitled. That is an insult.
that's not. I mean, you got to look at Baker Mayfield. Like I told you, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL for the foreseeable future, and he about to get like $80 million. So, yeah, if you can be a poor man's Baker, then you about as good as, to me, Daniel Dimes, but cheaper.
First of all, Daniel Dimes. If that's where you going, Daniel Dimes ruined it for you. Ain't nobody. If you compare to Daniel Dimes, they
Oh
not
yeah,
going
yeah,
for
yeah,
you no
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. I
You are a
think that
backup.
Spencer Rattler is somewhere between like he is that he could. My
He's a
thing that I
backup.
believe for him is he'll probably be. I believe bottom five quarterbacks are right between backups and being fired, unless you're young. And I think that Spencer Rattler, I mean, yeah, like he could be a poor man's Jordan Love, like whatever it is, just something, but not enough of something to be real. But I think that he could be better than Desmond Ritter. I for sure think that. That's
I
a low
think
bar, but
I think
it
they
gets
in
you
the
off the
same
ground.
they in the same vein. And he gonna make the same bad decisions. He gonna throw the same
I,
interceptions. He probably gonna
I
throw
think he
more
throw.
because he's not scary. He gonna go out there and be like, I'm gonna take the job. He gonna throw more
I I
interceptions. I
I
don't.
think that's the biggest issue with Desmond Ritter was he's scary.
Okay, you would okay, whatever. That
Boy,
don't entice me for nothing. That's undrafted free
I
agent
would
for
I,
me.
I would tell you the place where I think that they should be interested in having him is Indianapolis. I think that'd be a great place for him to play. You can play behind Anthony Richardson. Unfortunately, the way that Anthony Richardson plays, he plays super aggressively. You know,
I think he
hopefully
should go
he
to
gets to
LA.
doing, sliding and protecting himself a little bit better. But if you need Spencer Rattler so you can keep that offense kind of mobile, I think that you could, and you got time, you could just coach him and trade him.
I don't know if I would go because you're already coaching somebody in Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is the better version, the more talented, more potential version of Spencer Rattler. I think he needs to go to a team that already has an established veteran. In terms of somebody like LA would be good. Somebody that has
Or,
well, hold on,
hey
let me finish.
man,
Let me finish. He's
Super
LA
Bowl.
is good. Kansas City would be. They already compare him. Kansas City would be good. Which that's why I was like, I knew that you were thinking. That's why let me go there. He needs a veteran to show him how to practice and how to be a professional. If you can show him how to be a professional and how to work, then at that point, now you're just cultivating the talent, and that may work. Him at Kansas City is very intriguing, but it is what it is. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. All right, we're here, y'all. We are talking about the Super Bowl. The score
Excuse
was
me, say what?
28 to
Let's see this
24,
shirt.
26, 22. I'm sorry. Score was 26-22. Norwood, what was your score prediction? I
I'm
think it
not
was
ready for that. Oh, 30, 31-24. I was close. That's damn close.
mine was 27-21. And it was 26-22.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect for all that other tricky stuff to happen. But it was an entertaining game, man. It was an entertaining game from the pregame. Debo Samuel was out there in his Lombardi cleats. They were out there. There was no scuffle. There was no scuffle. There was no, I guess because there was so much pregame activity, there was no scuffle between Kelsey and the kicker from the 49ers or anything like that.
Yeah, I bet not.
Uh, but these are Debo's
This
cleats.
is these this is something. I'm gonna tell you why. Number one is Jordan 11s. As a person who really historically has not liked 11 lows, these Lombardis are fire. They are. This is so it's so good. It's the same exact like color as the Lombardi Trophy, executed perfectly, killed it. The only thing that you did not execute is actually winning the Lombardi Trophy to go with the cleats. Um, I think that, and I thought about it when I saw the cleats. I was like, damn, but you got to win now. Which I mean, the added pressure is what it is, but not winning in the Lombardi cleats, you probably got to just kind of have a seat now, bro.
I mean, nobody
Focus
picked
on
them to
yourself.
win, but it was interesting, man. So the pregame, they did all the stories. They talked about Miko Hardman. Um, he predicted when he was on Hard Knocks with the Jets that they would play the 49ers. He got the team right. The opponent had the team had who he was playing with wrong.
That boy put a Matty Johnson. I'm not gonna be here.
uh, so it was cool, man. The Niners, that whole game, let's just talk about the game real quick. The Niners started out tough. They started out tough. They were running the ball. Yeah. This first,
I would say the first 3 quarters, just
no, the first 15 scripted plays were really, really good. They dominated the offensive and defensive line. Chase Young was everywhere in the first quarter. I was like, Chase Young got to do something, and he heard it. And of course, he was out there. But they were only up 3-0. 10-3. Like, they ain't put them away. And I was like, dog, the 49ers had dominated the first half. And it's 10-3. And the game changed to me late in the first half because if you remember, we'll get to Brock. If you remember, Travis Kelce was upset. He was yelling at Andy Reid. I think we got that right here, actually. Travis Kelce was upset. He was yelling at Andy Reid. He was going berserk on the sideline. Travis Kelce said he's going to keep it between them. He was telling him that he loves him. But basically, he was like yelling and bumped Andy Reid. And the reason he was yelling and bumped Andy Reid because he didn't have any catches. And by not having any catches, or he had one catch. They fumbled when he felt like they should have got him the ball. And then Drake Greenlaw for the 49ers got hurt in the end of the first half. Running onto the field after a punt. He got hurt. And as a result, he ended up tearing his Achilles. So he was out. And we saw it. They showed it and we saw it immediately. I was like, oh, that's the Achilles. And as a result, they had to bring in a backup linebacker who was really, really good. Burks was really good. But a backup linebacker against Travis Kelce?
thoughts and prayers.
8 catches and 80 yards in the second half. Like, it was over with.
There's a couple things here. Apparently the Andy Reid, Travis Kelce thing was, I guess he'd taken him out. Travis Kelce essentially said, "Don't take me out," which I can understand, man. This man, he's older. I don't necessarily believe that if they lose this game, that he probably comes back. I think that him and his brother probably ride off into the sunset together. So I can understand, and I know people are like, oh, if this would have been such and such, then I would have been in trouble. I think AB wrote that. This man is arguably the greatest tight end to ever play football. So every now and then, you got to give those type of players a little bit of grace. It's the same thing that people say about Tom Brady being mad. Hey, you're right. As soon as you're as arguable, we'll get into if he's still the GOAT or how long he's got left to be the GOAT. But once you get into that level of stratosphere, then you're going to get a different level of grace and mercy than everybody else. So I think
Cowboy
that
rules.
it was something. Shout out to Jarek for getting Kelce out of there at the exact right moment. They say that was the best block he made all night. I think the best block he made was actually a hold on Fred Warner on a passing play. If they ain't catch it, it ain't cheating. And if it ain't cheating, then I'm cool with it. But yeah, overall, doesn't really matter. They won the game. Winning the game cleans up the bullshit. That Dre Greenlaw injury is tragic.
He was a top 3 linebacker in the league, man. Top 4. He was top 4 linebacker in the league.
He came out guns ablaze. he was doing everything, and then standing on the sideline and then just push off. You see the lower calf just pop, and what that typically means, probably an Achilles, which was going to push him way out.
Yeah,
As
they
far as
confirmed it was
since it
Achilles
happened so
after the
late in the
game,
season.
so he won't make it back until December at the earliest because of that Achilles.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, I said, yo, they didn't put him away. You got to, when you're playing great players, when you're playing great teams, when you're playing great coaches, you got to put them away. Because when you don't put them away, look at the stat. Patrick Mahomes has trailed by double digits in all 4 Super Bowls. Ladies and gentlemen, he's 3 out of 4. The only time that he didn't win was when he played the best defense in the league with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Right? So he came back, dog. He even threw a pick on. I thought they were going to come back immediately. And he threw a pick on the first possession of the second half. And I was like, all right, now y'all better figure it out. And then Steve Spagnuolo and that defense.
Yeah,
That defense.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk about putting them away. I'm about to put one away for my boy Mahomes. Salute. Shout out to Jared for being a 2-time world champion. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning 2 Super Bowls back to back, as they would try to go for the 3-peat. The Magic Man himself. 4 Super Bowls, trailed by double digits. He's, I hate to have to throw Cam Newton in here, but he's just.
No, you don't, because you do it every time.
No, I mean, what I'm trying to do
athlete.
is show the difference between somebody who, when they get down, they don't get out. Mahomes, you could see a little bit of the frustration, but he was still mostly like, hey, man, let's just keep playing. When things started to go left or right or nobody else could make it happen, he just ran the ball. And it's like, he's so good at throwing the ball that I feel like defenses just fall asleep on him still being mobile enough to pick up 10, 15 yards. He had that first run to get the first down, then he had that big run for about 15 yards. And at no point, this is honestly probably the weirdest Super Bowl I've ever seen, because at no point did he really seem, he never looked beat. And the 49ers just couldn't muster enough of a run to actually get some space and keep the space.
Well, the defense played lights out in the second half. What I will say about this Super Bowl and Patrick Mahomes is this Super Bowl to me showed me exactly what everybody was saying about the difference between elite quarterback play and regular quarterback play. Brock Purdy missed a lot of throws.
Ooh.
I ain't gonna say a lot of throws. Brock Purdy was affected, and when he was affected, it caused him to miss throws. Patrick Mahomes was affected, and he just decided to make the throws anyway. And there was a clear difference. There was a clear difference between Purdy missing those throws. All those throws that Purdy was missing, Patrick Mahomes started making in the third and fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, we all knew. And when we got to overtime, we all knew. And you were right. It was weird because we knew it was inevitable. When the 49ers didn't put them away, when they were up 10, when they did all this stuff in the third, and then Patrick Mahomes stared throwing the ball to Kelsey, and it started being 15-yard plays.
He missed that extra point. I said, oh, y'all playing.
It's over with. As soon as they blocked that extra point, I was like,
So there's a couple of things for me that kind of I want to talk about. Number one, until proven otherwise, Brock Purdy's Brock Garoppolo. Same situation, same guy who did enough, does enough, but just can't get it done when you really need it. Kyle Shanahan, I think that him being an elite level coach allows you to get a lot. Is going to give you more opportunities to play in Super Bowls, but it's probably going to take 4 Super Bowls to get one, because what this really came down to, like we talked about on Sunday, the Chiefs are better at every position. But what did I tell you? The sliders matter at the positions where the Chiefs are better. And that quarterback position is so valuable, which it proved to be, that even though you might have a better linebackers, defensive line, offensive line, that quarterback can make magic where other people just don't have the same control of the game. Because when they won the game, it happened so fast. I was looking around like, did they just win the Super Bowl that fast? Like it was just, it was 1-2. Soon as they kicked the field goal, came back down, it was like, oh, Mahomes is. He had that Tom Brady, and you know what that Tom Brady is like. Oh, it's not if you're gonna lose, it's when you're gonna lose because he's finna beat you.
Yeah, I want to circle back to what you just said. You said Kyle Shanahan. We know he's a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan is a really good play caller. His decision making makes you question how good of a coach he is. This is now the third time he's been to the Super Bowl. The third time he's blown a double-digit lead. This is the, I don't know, umpteenth time a team that he's been the coach of, San Francisco, in a big game, kind of wet the bed a little bit offensively. I mean, and if you really want to talk about it honestly, they shouldn't have beat the Packers, right? So Shanahan, I know you're saying he's a good coach, but when you hear things like the players didn't know the new rules for the Super Bowl, you hear them say that to 49ers, but then you hear that's what I was trying to talk about on Saturday Morning Live. Drew Tranquil, who's the nickelback or nickel safety / linebacker, say, we had an OT rules presentation and strategy meeting every week of the playoffs and twice in our Super Bowl prep, and they talked about it in the offseason. To me, that makes you a good coach. That's covering all the bases. You being able to call plays is cool. Arthur Smith called plays. He's a bad decision maker. Kyle Shanahan has to answer to this great coach, boy wonder, versus good call play versus good play caller, bad decision maker.
I do understand that, and I understand your point of view on that. But I guess the reason that there are two things here. Number one, look at the Super Bowls who you lost to. You lost to Billy and Goat Gruff. You lost to Goats. You lost Tom Brady. You lost to Patrick Mahomes. And the reason I say that he's still an elite coach, still a good coach, is I look at a guy like Marv Levy, who coached the Buffalo Bills. They went to 4 Super Bowls. It was 3 or 4 Super Bowls. But whatever it was, he didn't win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say that Marv Levy is not an elite football coach because he didn't win the Super Bowl. It just didn't happen. But you're still...
Yeah. Marv Levy didn't make bad coaching decisions to lose the bowl. They lost. They just got out-talented, and the kicker missed 3 game-winning field goals. I can only bring the horse to the water. I can't make you drink.
Come on, come on,
Right. Where Shanahan ain't do none of that. Shanahan's play calling and decision making are the reasons that they lost. Not going over the rules. So let me ask you this. We'll go back to overtime. Do you think that they should have taken the ball?
That is where my mistake was. I don't think that the clock management was a big issue. That part was like, I think the common sense, you have to understand that clock is running, but they get a possession. So they're going to get the whole possession. Like, that was relatively common sense. When they said, we'll take the ball first, I was looking like, why the hell would you do that? Like that part, I thought, you know how sometimes you think that somebody else is just smarter than you, so you just let them rock. So you're like, oh, well, maybe he knows something that I don't know. But yeah,
you're right, Sneaky. I just shut up and let him do it. Sneaky. Yeah. Taking the ball first. We watch a lot of college football, so we understand the college football rules. And you always go on defense first when it's overtime. And I think people don't understand the difference between overtime and sudden death. So if you're going to take the ball first.
But it's the Super Bowl. You got to understand it's always.
But they also changed the rules. I'm shooting them bail because they changed the rules. I do blame him for them not knowing it, but they also changed the rules, though. This is the first year. Well, not the first year. This is the first time in the Super Bowl it's happened that they had to use these rules. But, I mean, there's no way you don't go on defense first. You have to go on defense first because to me, by only getting a field goal, Patrick Mahomes was like, oh, game over. Game over. You can't do that.
Yeah, you got to let them set the tone so you can strategically know how aggressive I need to play.
Yeah.
And that is a coaching mistake. That to me is worse than even like Dan Campbell rolling the dice, because strategically I can understand Dan Campbell rolling the dice. All right, play to win. But this is just.
You see what Sneaky said right there? Well, I can't really point to it. It's right there at the bottom. He said
as an OC.
No, he was talking about Pat. He said if Pat scored first, he thinks that Purdy would have buckled under the pressure.
I mean,
if that's the case, he shouldn't
give
be
the kid. If that's your quarterback, you got to rock with your quarterback.
Yeah, that's the case. He shouldn't be starting.
I understand that strategy, and I understand that's a lot of pressure. But hell, I mean, he Mr. Relevant. He in the Super Bowl now. It's too late to not believe now.
Yeah, you done made it all the way here, and now you gonna baby him?
Break that journey up and don't stop believing, baby. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Don't stop believing.
And shout out to Andy Reid. Him and Patrick Mahomes, basically, they are the epitome of just take what you give us. You gonna bail out? I'm gonna run the ball. And again, I said this in the pregame. I said, look, they don't have to run the ball for 300 yards, 200 yards, 100 yards like they did the first time. They just need to run the ball with Pacheco, although he fumbled. They need to run the ball with Pacheco to keep them honest. And by them running the ball with Pacheco in the first half to keep them honest, even though he fumbled, it came back to benefit them, because when they ran that 4th and 1 play and they had Pacheco in the flat, they had Kelsey going on an arrow, and then they had Rashee Rice sit down, which is a great play design, by the way. When they broke it down, that was a great play design. Patrick Mahomes had 3 options to throw the ball, and you had to go cover them because they had been going to him the whole game. And then Patrick Mahomes decided, all right, I'm just going to run. I trust
that is the part that you can try to game plan for, but you can't game plan for, because he doesn't do that during the regular season. He'll just chuck it. Mm-hmm. I'll take my loss. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to get to the tournament. So he's not going to put himself in danger. He's not going to run. He just doesn't do it. So your tendencies, the person who's tracking everything is watching the tendencies, and they understand, all right, well, he doesn't really run. But now it's the Super Bowl, and he's still, Pat is fat-ish, but
Lord. It looked like you tried to be nice and just couldn't do it.
He bad body, man. He's the bad body quarterback. If you play football, you probably play with a bad body quarterback. If your quarterback was really in good shape, he probably sucks. He's probably Zach Wilson. But at the end of the day, Patrick is still fast enough and elusive enough, and he's just a winner. So when it's winning time, he's gonna get it done. And he had multiple occasions where he was like, "Oh, well, y'all can't get open. Don't worry. If everybody cover, that must mean that I'm open." And he did a good job of that. He got that winner. When it's time to win, ta-da.
So before 30, they've been talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're gonna talk about this GOAT conversation, bro. I think, remember I said if Patrick Mahomes, I said when the playoffs started, I said if y'all let Patrick Mahomes win this year, and they got draft picks, I said I don't know. To me, it's always been Tom Brady or Tom Brady then everybody else. It's now Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes then everybody else. This turned into a coronation, right? He won a game with defense. He won the game. He won the Super Bowl the Tom Brady way. I make plays. I have a go-to tight end or go-to a decent receiver and good defense, and I just don't mess up. And when you need me to go down and win the game, hey, we need a drive from you. I got you. He's got to be in that. Think about it. 41, 3 Super Bowl champions, 3 MVPs, 41 touchdowns, 18 playoff games, 5,000 yards. That's crazy. At 27.
Is there a chance? And and I know that I'm probably the only person who cares about this, and definitely the only person willing to talk about it. Is it unfortunate for Tom Brady that he might have the shortest reign of GOAT? His GOAT might just be like six, it might be less than a decade. Like Joe Montana was the GOAT for like 30 years.
If that happens, it kind of turns into Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant type thing, right? Kobe Bryant was supposed to be the next guy, and then LeBron came right when Kobe was like, they had all those situations. LeBron came, and it was like, damn, LeBron likes past him already. It's kind of like that with me. Like Patrick Mahomes is passing.
Is you drunk?
Oh yeah.
You said Tom Brady never separated himself from Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning ain't knows that he's not even in the same conversation as Tom Brady. Call him on the phone. He's probably available.
Yeah.
Wait,
I think
hold on. Let me go ahead. While we talking about this, let me clarify some things for a couple people. This new quarterback GOAT conversation, it includes 3 people: Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. If you're not one of those 3 people, go on, take your ass into the house.
I respectfully disagree. Joe Montana ain't been in the GOAT conversation for the last couple years. It's for the last few years. It's been Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, I don't think that Peyton Manning is a better quarterback than Joe Montana. Not now, not ever. No, sir, couldn't do it. Would never say that. Not even close. But with that said, let me go ahead. Hey, Aaron Rodgers, retire. Stop wasting your time. Go find you a girlfriend. Go find you a wife. Hey, maybe you can find Brett Favre and help him pay that money back. But what you should not do is play no more football. Patrick Mahomes and these young kids got it. It ain't no point in you wasting nobody's time nor money. Just go ahead and give it up and be done. David Carr, retire. Russell Wilson, you should retire. Matthew Stafford, retire. All of y'all that's older, go ahead and give it up. If you younger, you need to get right with God. That's the only thing that I can tell you.
Or just leave
Joe
the
Burrows.
AFC. Just leave the AFC.
I don't know.
You may be able to get somewhere in the NFC. I don't know
what to tell you. Leave the AFC to do what? So he can get your ass to the Super Bowl and do what he did to Brock Purdy? He smoked that
at least
Purdy
you get to the Super Bowl. At least you get to the Super Bowl. You froze again, by the way.
That boy Mahomes got right to the Super Bowl. Came right in there and rolled up that Purdy pack. Rolled that thing up and lit it right at the end of the 3rd quarter and let that thing slow burn. And by the end of OT, he was ready to cheat. Now, also, I don't know where Pops Mahomes is, but make sure that man gets an Uber. Uber, if y'all can sponsor Pops Mahomes, make sure he don't do no more driving. Period.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get him a chauffeur forever.
In other GOAT conversations, who you taking, Gronk or Kelsey? Gronk and Tom or Kelsey and Mahomes?
I wish it. I don't.
Think long, think wrong.
Kelsey. Nope. Kelsey, and probably Mahomes, man. If you go back and look at them Mahomes, he got like almost 100 more touchdowns than Tom Brady. And between the touchdowns and Travis Kelce having the most reception, he passed Jerry Rice. Anytime you start passing Jerry Rice, dog, I gotta shut up. There's one person who I don't believe. It's certain people who I believe don't get passed in sports. Jerry Rice and John Stockton are on that list. And he surely passed Jerry Rice with playoff receptions. And Jerry Rice played for 100 years, for 17, for the Raiders, for Seahawks, for the 49ers. Oh, man, yeah.
But Jerry Rice also played 10-game seasons at the beginning of his career in his prime. So, and they went to 12. But in this one, I'm probably taking Kelsey. But
It's also
It's the battle of what's coming. Like you knew they're gonna throw the ball to Gronk. You knew they're gonna throw the ball to Gronk. You knew they're gonna throw the ball to Kelsey. You knew there was nothing that you could do. Like this is almost like a mirror of what we saw back then. I probably would take Kelsey because I think Kelsey was. I mean, they both don't run routes now. They don't do nothing. They just get in. They just get in the way.
It was different. They're different. They're similar but different. So you have Gronkowski who doesn't run around. He's
bigger than
pause
you.
This
pause if necessary.
Yeah, he's so big that wherever he is, you can't guard him. Travis Kelce just is good at space. He is so good at finding, hey, this is the little bit of space I need to be open, and then I can take it from there. So their games are very different, but kind of very similar. One's just more physical, one's just more finesse, but they're both always basically open. Now I will say Gronk is a much better blocker, but I mean Kelsey's is more available. So it's kind of, they're the same age. That's the other part. I think they're the exact same age. So, and Travis will be back. Travis running it back next year. So,
yeah,
pick what you want and what your team needs. If your team needs a blocker, then you probably need Gronk. If you got a solid offensive line or you're more pass based, then yeah, Kelsey's your guy.
Yep. So the fallout from, we got into kind of a tangent about the GOATs, but we wanted to talk about that because the fallout from this is everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes, which is true. You should be, because it was phenomenal. What he did again, he did it again. Andy Reid, he called a hell of a second half. I'm drinking water, brother. He called a hell of a second half. They played really, really well. But I really want us to highlight the defense. They stymied Shanahan in the second half. We got to give flowers to Dave Merritt. Dave Merritt is the DB's coach for the Chiefs. He's got Williams. They got McDuffie. They got L'Jarius Sneed. They have 2 All-Pro corners, and then they have Williams from Fayetteville State, who starts as well. They have totally
and don't forget they lost Honey Badger. Like they've been
they lost Shavarius Ward that plays for the 49ers now. He was the other guy.
Yeah, they've been able to kind of evolve this offense, evolve this defense, build it the right way. Spagnuolo has done a fantastic job, but let me be very clear. Coach Merritt and that secondary ain't no joke. And let's be very real. Brandon Ayuk is a good receiver. Kittle is a good receiving tight end. Debo Samuels is a monster.
And
those guys strapped, let me tell you, for the whole time. That ended up, as much as Mahomes' magic was very important, if you really look at all of those pass plays, as much as I'm going to call Brock Purdy Jimmy Garoppolo, he didn't really have no passing windows. It wasn't anywhere to throw the ball. Between Chris Jones causing havoc from the end position and the backside just playing, the secondary playing really good defense and covering well. And covering without getting a bunch of penalties. Pass interference, weren't giving up a lot of, they played good disciplined defense. There was every receiver had a cornerback or defensive back in their hip pocket. That's damn good defense.
Good defense in the secondary. Shout out to Steve Spagnuolo. They did a breakdown of his defense on ESPN. We're not going to go into it as much detail, but the one thing that they said was I'm not going to say it's going to be the kryptonite to the Shanahan offense, because of course they're going to make changes, but anytime that they pulled a guard, anytime a guard, tackle, or center pulled, he blitzed. Whoever was on that side, if they pulled the right guard, then the left cornerback was like, you need to blitz. Like, there was no thought process. It was like, go. And that messed up the timing. So shout out to Spagnuolo, man. That's tough.
His well-timed, well-positioned blitzes were another, like, you're right. Just, and every time because
They
he
got
sent
home
McDuffie on that
every
one pass
time.
play. He was right there, and he just made it difficult enough that, hey, all right, throw this one more guy at Purdy and see. He put it back. He put it back on Purdy to make. Hey, and they said that we want to see if he can throw the ball. Like, but you got to make. You need to make your Tom Brady throws. You need to make your Mahomes throws
NFL windows, bro.
in
Yep,
order
you're
for to
right.
win this game. If you don't throw those, then bro, we good.
That's what
But the
makes
ability for that secondary to lock up like that and not get pass interference, defensive holding calls, that's, I don't know if y'all played football before, but that's hell. And Shanahan's offense, everything looks about the same. So you got to play discipline.
Well, the thing about Shanahan's offense, and we'll talk about how the Chiefs defense is built. The thing that they did on defense was they kind of stayed. It was like if they were in man, it didn't matter what the 49ers did. And Shanahan's offense, and it's kind of, I hate to keep saying this about Purdy because I don't think Purdy played a bad game. It's
You
just
played a Jimmy Garoppolo game.
It's the difference between Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, or any elite quarterback being able to make NFL throws and NFL timing windows versus college. Shanahan's offense, McVay's offense, Slovik's offense, all of these Shanahan disciples' offense take away the window. The way all that window dressing makes everything wide open. And if you could just know where to go with the ball and have the timing, it's kind of like Spurrier's offense in the 90s with Florida. You throw the ball to a spot, and as long as you got the timing right, they are going to be open. When you disrupt that timing and you close the window, like you said with that secondary, shout out to Merritt, it's crazy. But look at this defense, though. I'm going to read this real quick for those that are listening and those that can't see this on the screen. This is how the Chiefs built the youngest defense in the NFL. Remember, the Packers have the second youngest team. They have the youngest team and the second youngest defense. The Chiefs have Chris Jones. Chris Jones is the elder statesman. He's in his 7th year. He's 28 years old. Derek Nandi, 2018. Willie Gay, Jr. from Mississippi State, who came back after having a neck injury and was vital to shutting Kittle down. 2020. L'Jarius Sneed, same draft, 2020. Michael Dana, DN, 2020. That 2020 draft, they got 3 starters. Woo! Nick Bolton, George Carl Laftis, Trent McDuffie, Brian Cook, Leo Chanel, Jalen Watson. You know where all these 2022 picks came from? The trade of Tyreek Hill. And they got 1, 2, 3 starters, 5 players that contribute a lot out of that Tyreek Hill. Not to mention free safety.
Y'all?
Hold on, not to mention free safety. Justin Reed, Charles Omenihu. Ooh, said it right. Drew Tranquil, and Mike Edwards. They got all of that, and now they have one of the youngest defenses in the league with arguably the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen play.
And that was my thing was, sure, you're trading Tyreek. This team historically just knows how to pick players for their team. If you give them that many shots, they're going to make more shots than everybody else. Ta-da! They made all the shots that they needed to make. It didn't look like what you thought it would. But that defense is so good that, I mean, all right, now we can go. The scary part is you find a way to just bring Chris Jones back because he's so damn good. You sign these guys on defense, and then you draft you a couple receivers, and then you try to find a guy at the end of his big money as a receiver. Like, if you're Mike Evans, do you take a pay cut and go play over there? I think so.
All right,
as much as I like Baker, I'd be the Kansas City for the damn playing land.
I already told you what they should do because they got to find a replacement for Travis Kelce after next year. They should go get Kyle Pitts. Let him learn. That's what I would do. But anyway,
what you gonna give us?
They tried to trade him for a 3rd-round pick, bro. They got a 3rd-round pick to trade.
Oh man, we do. If we do that, then I really won't have but one team left because the Hawks once again lose to. Just find a way to lose.
But man, that was one of the more entertaining Super Bowls. 49ers. Oh, this is what I'm gonna ask while I open up the stuff about the Hall of Fame and all of that stuff as we come to the end of our football segment here in about 30 minutes. How long do you stick with Shanahan as the coach? Are they in the fell clutch? Are they in the 2% mortgage range? If Shanahan gets back to the Super Bowl next year and loses again because of some type of coaching error, what do? Do you keep him? You could probably trade him at this point.
Are you, Reggie? Are you drunk? You found a coach that can get you to the Super Bowl every year with no quarterback. Let me tell you, at any point where y'all feel like Kyle Shanahan is no longer holding up his end of the bargain, hey, bro, Raheem, I rock with you, big dog. But Kyle Shanahan, you can have this job without a doubt. It's just one of those things where you have to be very realistic with things. Number one, you lost to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Two Hall of Fame. You got Mahomes, Hall of Fame, GOAT level player already. Andy Reid, Hall of Fame coach. You're not gonna what are you gonna do? You're gonna be the Commanders and get Dan Quinn and think that's a better option? Man, there's just not enough other quarterbacks. I mean, there's just not enough coaches out there for you to go in a different direction. No, you might struggle, and hell, you might be Marv Levy and never win. But let me tell you, Kyle Shanahan gives you the best option at getting close to a Super Bowl and maybe winning. But if you go away from Kyle Shanahan, everybody who's not, everybody.
Everybody. He becomes the hottest coach. But the reason I ask is because at some point, it's kind of like Mark Dwyer with Georgia. Like you get really, really good. You get to the point where you should be winning, but you make a coaching change. You make something, a decision that gets you out the paint. And at some point, everybody has some type of glass ceiling. If you can't win, if you're not winning, then you have a glass ceiling. And at some point, are you kind of stuck with Shanahan? What if he never wins? What if he gets you to the playoffs 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row, gets you to the Super Bowl, and you lose every time?
Well, that's when you have to make a sacrifice as far as position. Like the other part, the reason that Shanahan is safe and you can't really get mad with him is look who you rolled him out at quarterback with. Garoppolo,
he made that decision.
And Brock Purdy.
He made that decision.
Yeah.
They decided to trade all them picks for Trey Lance, and they could have got somebody else.
Now that is probably going to get passed over. But what I'm saying is you probably it's tight. Because the answer probably is to pull the LA Rams and go get a quarterback. Go get Matt Stafford. You gotta go get your Matt Stafford. And maybe your Matt Stafford is
you can't, because all the money is with everybody else. You gotta pay Bosa. I know they already paid him. You gotta pay.
Wait. There are two options here. One cheap option, one less than cheap option. How do you feel about Russell Wilson?
For the 49ers? If what they say about Russell Wilson was true in Denver and that him and Sean Payton couldn't get along because he was changing plays, then I don't think it'll fit. Because Shanahan ain't gonna lie. Shanahan, one thing you can't do in the Shanahan, you'll never see Brock Purdy really audible. Like that, the play is called. You may shift the line left or right, but you ain't changing the play, big dog. Like, that's it. So I don't know with Russell Wilson, if it's true that he was changing plays a lot, I don't know if he would mesh in San Francisco.
But I mean, I think that both of those guys,
Kirk Cousins though, could do it. But Kirk Cousins won't.
I think that Russell Wilson, you're looking to kind of clean up some parts of you. So yeah, maybe you don't make as many changes. In Kyle Shanahan, like you're not at until you get to that next bar, then maybe you need somebody to make a couple changes, because some of those changes are changes that need to be made. That's the reason it was so good to watch Tom Brady talk about, like I see a lot of these quarterbacks now who just take the yards running. And he was like, I would have never called that play. I would have audible into another play because I see how this coverage is set up. So I mean, sometimes you need you got to make an accommodation on both ends. I think that the fact that you know that the Broncos want out, you know that they're going to pay the majority of that salary, and you can get Russell Wilson for cheap. I mean, like, I don't know if Brock Purdy can get you over the hump.
Well, we said that about a Garoppolo. That's about ego. But we'll talk about this more in the offseason, especially once we get back towards the draft. We do get a whole month of basketball. Ain't nothing else. March is basketball. But else, other news in the NFL quickly, man. The 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame was announced. Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Randy Grandichar, Patrick Willis, Steve McMichael, Devin Hester, Julius Peppers. Shout out to all of them getting in. I want to say, let's see, Devin Hester did not win a ring. Andre Johnson did not win a ring. Patrick Willis did not win a ring. Did Julius Peppers win one? No. Steve McMichael, he might have won one. I don't know who Randy Grandichar is. Forgive me.
I think that's the guy who played linebacker for the Broncos, if I remember correctly. But I mean, this
Dwight
is an elite
Freeney,
class.
so it's a good
Andre
class,
Johnson,
but it is what it is.
yeah, I mean, Pepper is a monster. Hester, arguably one of the best special teams players of all time. Patrick Willis, monster linebacker for the 49ers. Andre Johnson, complete utter dog. And then Dwight Freeney, shout out to, to Tiny Spin in Atlanta.
Did Julius Peppers and Cam Newton play together? No. Julius Peppers was during the Michael Vick era. Okay. Yeah. For Carolina. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a crazy draft. You got a lot of freak athletes. Julius Peppers and Patrick Willis was one of the first 4-3 linebackers. He was running a 4-3 coming out of college. Andre Johnson was probably one of the best college receivers I've ever seen. So, and chat's not showing up. But anyway, Sneaky, no Darren Woodson, which was surprising. No Darren Woodson, that was surprising. But this is a great class. Shout out to Devin Hester. I'm not gonna say who I would vote off of there, but I do think Darren Woodson should have made it though. I am gonna say
fair enough. Don't hate it.
Moving on, man. Let's get to these awards, man. MVP, we knew it. Lamar Jackson. He's now a 2-time MVP, also a Heisman Trophy winner. Just didn't finish the job, but an outstanding year all the way until the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
you want me to run through them and then we talk about it, or how you want to do that?
No, congratulations, Lamar. I told y'all this is how this was going to end. When you really needed the Baltimore offense to show up in a big way, it wasn't, and it didn't. Congratulations.
Yes and no. He ran into the Michael Vick thing. Michael Vick used to destroy teams by running the ball, and he made you pay every time you went man. In the games that we lost, when you played man, he tried to throw the ball a lot instead of taking what the defense gives him. Same thing happened in the AFC Championship game. Lamar could have ran for 150 yards because they were turning and bailing away from him, but he didn't. So, but shout out to Lamar. We ain't going to talk about that. We ain't going to stay on that. Shout out to Lamar. You won your MVP. Hopefully next year you get it. Texans, sweep offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year.
Sound like Killer. It's a sweep. It's a sweep. Yeah, this is exactly what we believed. Now I ain't gonna lie, I didn't see this from CJ Stroud, but I told y'all about Will Anderson. I told you he looked like a little robot, just like the boys that play basketball for the Rockets and for the Pistons, the Twins. Will Anderson has been a monster. He was an excellent draft pick. To me, it was an easy draft pick. He showed up and dominated basically off rip. And CJ Stroud, a monster. The Texans are uniquely suited to go into the future and kind of, if they can get a couple players, they might be win right now good, because everybody's so young and they have so many young guys. If you can get a couple veterans, then yeah, you might be able to be in play for a championship, minus having to deal with Patrick Mahomes.
Shout out to C.J. Stroud. I definitely think he deserved it. I'm kind of skeptical on Will Anderson. I went and looked at the defensive stats. He only had 7 sacks from the defensive rush in position. He didn't even have the most sacks among defensive rookies. Kobe Turner for the Rams had he's a defensive tackle.
Monster.
Had 9 sacks.
He is little AD.
So he was out there playing crazy. But
young AD,
I get it because it was, I mean, it's definitely a feel-good story. And you can't really, I think Will Anderson was just more known. That's the disadvantage of being on the West Coast, unfortunately. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. Some folks said it should have been TJ or Micah Parsons. And he definitely did not have as good a stats as either one. I do think TJ Watt should have won it, but I mean,
I saw Myles Garrett abuse some people.
I saw TJ Watt had 17 sacks.
You right? I mean, whatever
he's been snubbed like 3 or 4 times. Like he's been snubbed 3 or 4 times at this point. Yeah. Of course, Offensive Player of the Year is going to be CMC himself from the family of athletes. Christian McCaffrey won Offensive Player of the Year, first one to win it since 2020. Well deserved. He was the engine that made that team go.
I don't have any issue with that. Now this is the one place. Stefanski, congratulations.
Won Coach of the Year.
I'm gonna rain on your parade, bro. You didn't deserve to win this. D'Amico is a better coach with a younger, less established team, and he went further and he beat you. There's no way that I think that anybody could justify this. It is unfortunate. It came down to literally one first place vote, but
biggest snub of the year, in my opinion. Biggest snub of the year.
This is trash to me.
I don't even think Stefanski was in the top 3, to be honest. I think D'Amico Ryans was Coach of the Year. I think Dan Campbell should have come in second. If you look at this list, and there is somebody that did not get any first place votes, and it's unfortunate because Anthony Richardson got hurt. But Shane Steichen only having 4 votes total, it's wild. So look, Stefanski did this with no quarterback until he got Flacco, but for D'Amico Ryans to come in there with that team, and you saw the impact immediate. Christian Miller had his career year. He took such a jump from the first to second year. It had to be D'Amico. So I think this is snub of the year. Keep your head up, D'Amico. We looking for you, man. It'll happen. Comeback Player of the Year. Of course, it's Joe Flacco. You got to give it to him. A lot of people said it should have been Hamlin, but I think a lot of people were upset because Hamlin didn't really play, right? He didn't. They basically kept him on the sideline. And even Flacco said it should be Comeback Player of the Year. Said it should have been Hamlin. Some people said it should have been Baker.
Don't hate that answer. I definitely don't hate that answer.
The only thing is maybe you don't consider him Comeback Player of the Year because he didn't sit out. He was a starter in Carolina, and then he came to Tampa Bay and was a starter. So technically,
he was also. He also got benched. Started in Carolina, started with LA.
But what I'm saying, he didn't come back from nothing. He didn't come back from nothing.
I don't think that Baker's upset about that. I think that $83 million that he's supposed to get will probably keep him more than warm enough.
Yeah, man. And on some real stuff, you are happy for him. I talk about him a lot. I talk about Baker a lot because I think he's an asshole, and I think he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that think he's better than he is, in my opinion. But you don't ever want to see somebody. You don't ever want to see somebody. I do think he got a raw deal in Cleveland. I think he was the source of a lot of problems in terms of the way that he played, but he ain't really get a lot of help either on offense. I mean, you had Chubb, but Chubb got hurt. You had Keenan Hunt, who was not the Keenan Hunt The
poor
Chiefs.
offensive game planning. Like at the end of the day, I told y'all, if y'all think that Baker couldn't throw the ball, then why in the hell they hand the ball to OBJ? Like that's the one thing that the Chiefs will do. They'll hand you the ball. If you can't catch it and Kadarius Tony had you shut up, they would have handed you the ball.
That
They
would have
would have
been
just
you
said, "Hey,
scoring
go."
instead of Miko Hardman.
Yeah, like it's that simple. And Cleveland's offense has never really tried to take that next step, and that's what you get. So I think that at the end of the day, like I don't expect Baker to be as good next year as he was this year. I think he
Nope.
plays better with a chip on his shoulder. And the same thing that people hate about him is the same thing that is his superpower. He believes that, hey, man, when everybody hates me and my back is against the wall, well, hey, you motherfuckers, how about this?
Yep.
But I don't think that he can play from in front, like with expectation.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yet to be
So
seen.
so that's the awards that went out. Other NFL news, real quick. So they are definitely playing a game in Spain in 2025. It's going to be between the Bears and the Dolphins. This is
It's a terrible idea.
another way for the NFL to try to make themselves. Basically, the NFL and NBA are trying to copy the soccer league, soccer profession, and have multiple leagues all over the world, and then you'll be able to transfer contracts and all that. I think that's where everybody's trying to go. But I mean, they're trying to grow the brand. If they're gonna agree to it, get the money.
Are you really about to like leave these players in Barcelona and because I assume that's what they will be playing. You think I'm finna go to Barcelona and not mess up?
Madrid is where they're playing. Real Madrid, Spain.
I'm messing up there too. Come on, everybody, let's do the conga band. You think I'm not?
Hey, man. So, well, before let's get to before we talk about Caleb Williams. Pretty much Zach Wilson's value is 0. He is going to be a backup if he's going to be in the league at all. They are about to get rid of him, which is something we all knew. Draft season is coming up. We'll see if he stays, man. We will see if he stays.
He's an interesting character to me because I don't know of a team that can roll the dice on him. And if you can't play with that Jets team, even though I think that Jets team is not the most, I don't think that the Jets are the most organized team. I don't think they're the most well put together team as far as like cohesion. I think that they just have a bunch of really good players. But I think that he needs to try to find one of the worst teams in the NFL and just go there and start over.
Pull a Baker. Go to Carolina, be bad, be decent, and then start over. I do think you need to be
at a place that's bad, but also will give you an opportunity to.
I think he needs to go sit. I think the Jets were stupid for drafting him. None of us thought that he was worth a number 2 or 4 or first round draft pick, period. And I think that because of that, you set him up to fail. And I think that he should definitely go to a team. He's another guy. He's in a Spencer Rattler situation to me. He needs to go to a team with an older veteran that he can learn from. That's not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is like that Green Bay Packer, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. I want to help you, but I ain't really here to help you type shit. That ain't what you need. You need somebody to coach you. You need to go somewhere that has an old quarterbacks coach that make you get up in the morning and run in slouch socks like Rocky. Like that's what RIP Apollo. You need to do old school training. Get your mind right, mental toughness stuff before.
I agree with that.
Hey, what you think about Morehouse saying Caleb Williams is fake and not special? Morehouse, huh?
Cool story, bro.
You don't think so?
Didn't he say anything about Patrick Mahomes? Morehouse has some bad takes.
He did not. I went back and did some research. He really don't be wrong. He talked about Johnny Manziel. He don't be wrong about a lot of stuff. He said Patrick Mahomes has all the talent in the world, but he just needs to be coached on his mechanics. But he never said he wasn't special. He said Caleb Williams is not special.
Nah. Cool story. We'll see how it plays out. But to say that Caleb Williams is not special, he's already been special. So
Yeah.
You
He's
might.
beat the teams that he was supposed to beat. When it comes to like stiff competition, kind of shrinks.
It's the dice that I'm willing to roll on. I'm not passing on it. If maybe Merrill Hodges is this quarterback soothsayer, me, I'll take it.
He is. But ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the football segment of episode 138 of the SplashCast. We're going to take about 3 or 4 minutes, listen to a couple songs from the SplashCast. Well, this is really the new joint soundtrack. And we'll be right back. Y'all go get y'all beverage, use the bathroom. This is intermission for about 2-3 minutes, and we'll be right back. Remember, they can always do what?
Like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. See you soon.
We'll be right back. Y'all see y'all soon. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 138 of the SplashCast, Monday Night Raw. Our basketball segment, man. We got a few things we're going to talk about today, man. Draymond is back, still with the same issues. Free agency. Norwood wasn't here when we talked about free agency, so we're going to kind of backtrack over that. And then, but before we get to all of that, man, I hate to see this, bruh. I don't. Ty Lawson, former North Carolina guard, one of my favorite players. Not favorite players, one of the guys I really did like watching play college basketball. When college basketball was fun to watch in those North Carolina years, has been banned from the Chinese Basketball Association after he allegedly made derogatory remarks about Chinese women. And over there, they don't play that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's now looks like he's playing basketball in the Venezuela basketball league, which I don't know if that's what I would do, but sure. I guess that you can't make disparaging remarks about women of a country.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And expect to stay there.
The backstory.
I want to know what he's saying now.
Look, y'all better stop going over these. Y'all better read the rules. Y'all been going over to Dubai, and then y'all be.
No, we do not read. We do not read terms and conditions, bro.
I stand by what I said. Y'all better read the rules, shawty. Y'all better read the rules before y'all go overseas, bro. They be having different rules, and y'all be up there trying to put that American privilege, talking all you want to. It don't work. But I'm sure Ty will land on his feet. There's too many basketball leagues now. I think the NBA as a whole and basketball as a whole is really moving towards the soccer model. I think there's too many leagues.
Wait, hold on, time.
That's not true. It's not true.
Time out. Because I found the internet, and the internet explained it to me. Free agent Ty Lawson addressed a controversial social media post that resulted in the lifetime ban from the Chinese Basketball Association, saying he meant no disrespect.
Talking about dad cakes on the low.
That's a compliment. He said she was Carmelo Anthony. Ma'am. If you mad with Ty Lawson for that, then how would you feel about Usher the way that he treated Alicia Keys?
I mean, our government don't care about that. Women's rights, they don't. We don't get out of it. See, you keep walking me down that political.
Ty Lawson, like, here you are again, double cheeked up Thursday.
On a Thursday. But yeah, man. So shouts out to Ty Lawson, man. If that's true, bruh, I mean, it is what it is. That means they're trying to get rid of you anyway. Draymond's back though. Draymond is back since his return. 10 games at the time of this post, which was 2 days ago. It's 11 games. He's plus 124, no technicals, no flagrants. He is basically quietly a move by Steve Kerr. They have played him at center. They have a 126 offensive rating with him on the floor and a 107 defensive rating. He basically showed y'all that he's the engine of this team. Shout out to Draymond.
Draymond is so good at being Draymond, and it's not something that's super tangible. He's just a guy who does all the stuff that nobody else wants to do. But when you really need a player, he's the guy. And I think that At the end of the season, there's going to have to be a decision. Either does he want to go somewhere else and play basketball, or does he want to retire?
I don't think so. I
You
think
said,
Clay is the one on that. Clay is the one that they gonna have to
"Oh,
make a
no, no, no,
decision.
no, 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 no." I heard, I saw something there. I haven't had a chance to like really delve into it like I want to, but Clay is willing to take a reduced role, and I think that if he's willing to take a reduced role, then he's probably willing to. Clay, you better be smart and get your ass on that bench. That's the real answer.
And the money is the difference. See, Draymond signed to a decent contract, right? So that's why they can keep him versus Clay.
Clay can get paid like you just gotta take like 17, 18 million dollars. But it allows you to stay where you want to stay. You can end your career there. And as the salary cap goes up, like bro, you can it's what I was saying about the John Collins contract. As the salary cap goes up, your money can stay. Now you won't be where you are now. No. But you can make $20 million and play in the NBA and be fine. The thing that your issue is you want NBA superstar money. You need to understand at this point you're probably 6th, 7th man money. And
He's
that's
in the
fine,
Carmelo.
bro.
He's in that
You had two
Carmelo
tremendous
stage.
injuries, and you're one of the greatest shooters of all time, bro. Just
He's at that Carmelo Anthony stage where y'all remember when they were like, OKC was like, "Hey, Carmelo, you actually would be really good off the bench." He was like,
off
You
the
heard they want me to
bench.
come off the bench? Fuck out of here!" Like he went straight New York, Baltimore on him, and then 3 games
Yeah.
later he was on the bench. So I think for Clay, if y'all remember, Clay said at the very beginning of the season he was looking for 30 million, 20, 25,
Yeah.
30, and all of that's out the window. And
They
Draymond's
keep
proven his.
they tell him every week, bro. Tick, 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 tick.
If I'm Clay,
2025.
I'm trying to turn
Now you're at
into.
20.
If I'm Clay, I try to turn into Ray Allen. Just stand at the 3 and become the greatest sniper of all time. Because you can still, his shot is still there, but he still tries to shoot off the dribble. He tries to create off the dribble, and bruh, it ain't there
Doing
no
too
more.
much.
Doing too much. But Draymond,
and it's like all of us. We get older, and you go to pivot, plant, and it don't plant the same way, bro. It's life.
Yep. Now Draymond, I'm surprised he didn't get any. I don't think he got a technical here, but he and Nurkic were going at it. Of course, Nurkic is the one slapped by Draymond. Nurkic big man him early in the game. Then told him he's too small. And then so Draymond ended up coming right back though. And I ain't gonna lie to you, playing Draymond at center, this is what you're gonna run into. But Draymond came back 2 possessions later, went right back, and Nurkic wasn't paying attention. Too small. They ended up winning this game. And he stopped KD on the last run. Draymond, a lot of people don't like him, but his impact is undeniable.
Draymond, what? Probably 6'6", maybe what? 230.
Yeah,
tops.
we know you can't jump.
Then you look at Nurkic, 7 foot 291, and 291 is when they catch you at the beginning of the season when you're in the best shape. So best to assume he's 7 feet 300. You can't too small Draymond and then let him come down there and do that to you, bro. I'm telling you. And you invited it because you started it. You little manned him first because he neck chopped you. He hit you with the E-Honda. And then after that, you came down there and you said, "Oh, well, I'm a little man him." Well, cool story, bro. As soon as you little man him, he big manned you. And he said you can't be 7 foot and get put in the rim. Man, that dude's the size of a 2-guard. What are you doing, Nurkic?
Yep. So I think Draymond might get them out of the play-in. No, he won't. They'll still be in the play-in. But
Kuminga might get them out of the play-in.
Kuminga, and they were trying to trade him. Hawks, you should have pulled that damn trigger, but you didn't. Let's talk about free agency. Let me talk about free agency real quick. The Sixers landed Kyle Lowry. What? Sixers landed Kyle Lowry, and they landed Buddy Hield.
Good. So the Sixers cooked. The Sixers
Kyle
cooked.
Lowry, hold on. Landed Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield. PJ Washington went, amongst other front court people, went to Dallas. And then Pat Beverly was one of the more notable trades, went from Philly to the Bucks. Which one out of those three trades, which one has the most impact on the playoffs for the East? I
This
go
is
with
not
you. Go ahead, Bev.
it's not fair.
Philly.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I want to say that Buddy Hield is the one that's like the most. It's the biggest move to me. It gives the Sixers another shooter.
Floor
Buddy
spacer.
is a shooter. Like that's what he's done. But acquiring a really good shooter is excellent. And Lowry being another like point guard to kind of take some of the stress. I mean, he's basically going to be new Harden. But
Uh,
none of
Coach Beverly. He's gonna be in the same role as Patrick Beverly.
what? No. He's going to be more of a facilitator. He's going to try to take some of the pressure off of Maxey, who while like Maxey is doing good, but he in the master facilitator role, he struggles. And it's more of that now because there's no Embiid. So he's really in a tight situation. So you move Lowry to your one, and then you have Maxey who can go back to the two. He can focus on scoring because you need more points now because you lost an MVP level player. Um, the thing for me is all of that is contingent on Joel Embiid getting the surgery and being healthy again. If they traded Maxey, if they traded Buddy Hield and they traded Lowry and then Embiid ain't healthy, and then well, hell, you finna watch Giannis give y'all 1,000 points. I don't care who you are. It just is what it is on that fact. So it is a good move, but it's only a good move if you can get Embiid back. Now, Coach Beverly to the Bucks. Um, P. Bev is a great locker room guy. He's back with Doc Rivers, who's a guy who he really loves to be coached by. He's coaching his ass off already. I think probably will help Doc Rivers, who hasn't started out the hottest. And he's going to give the Bucks a little bit of that defensive, like the Draymond level stuff that you've been looking for. Like get into a guard's head, bother somebody, probably draw a technical, see if you can get somebody put out of a game, and still play good enough defense and hit open shots. So I think that Pete Bev was a good pickup. Now I do think it's interesting because notoriously him and Dame Lillard got a little beef.
They already
So they
squashed
got to
it. They
hash.
already said they squashed it. Already came out. As soon as they already talked.
Well,
Allegedly.
yeah, if and I think it's in Dame's best interest. Like you don't play no whole lot of defense. They picked this dude because y'all need defense. You need to humble yourself in this situation and figure out how to, I know that you're the superstar and Pat Beverly isn't, but Pat Beverly is kind of like us with the Hawks. Pat Beverly is only here because you can't do your homework. If you could do
Well,
your homework, Pat Beverly wouldn't be here.
well, I think this is more. Look, Giannis. I said it on Reggie's recaps. We said it on the SplashCast here.
It's
Bro,
not
they
of
making
Giannis.
all these moves. He was defensive player of the year to try to help you out because of the moves that you allowed or encouraged. We don't know, but we know that you the star and all the moves with Adrian Griffin and Drew Holiday and all of that has to go through you. So this is another move to help out on defense and help out in the locker room to help you. Y'all got to win,
And
bro.
I will say there, like you guys have amped up the pressure on yourself in ways that nobody else has, could, and would. Because once you got rid of Adrian Griffin and y'all were in second place, now you're saying I know more than the coach. It ain't nothing you can do but win now.
And the way that you left it too, dancing and all that stuff, it looks bad.
Yeah.
Y'all can't fall to third now. You can't.
Yeah.
And then of course, I really think that the trade that I said I think Dallas was one of the teams that won the trade deadline. They needed a lot of front
Dallas and
court
the,
help, and they
Dallas and
got
the
a lot of
Knicks.
front court help. Gafford with PJ Washington. I think they added a third big, and they already got Lively. I think who's coming back from a broken nose, as well
Yeah.
as they still got Josh. They still got Josh Powell, or Dwight Powell, whatever his name is, Powell. They got him. He's a serviceable body.
Let me be very clear about two people who, respectfully, I don't respect. Max Kleber and Dwight Powell. Y'all go to hell on, bro. Y'all had all the time in the world to be the front court for the Mavericks. Y'all could never get it done. Never could get even close to getting it done. But I want to be very clear. I think
Kleber is going to go back to his better position, which is the 4.
Daniel Gafford. I don't know if y'all watched the game tonight or looked at the stats. 16 points, 17 rebounds, 5 blocks.
That's what he does. He did that in Washington. I've always wondered why nobody ever traded for him. I was like, Daniel Gafford does not need the ball. He plays defense. He can finish around the rim with power. And he rebounds the ball.
And him and Lively give you what Dwight Powell, Max Kleber never could give you.
Defense.
And the other part is now they don't need Clint Capella anymore. That's the sad part is we could have traded for Lively and we could have probably traded for Gafford, honestly. And in both cases, the Hawks chose not to. I know this isn't on the docket of things to talk about, but you saw the report that came out today where Hawks stay packed during the end of the trade deadline, and it looks like if things don't go the way that we believe them to go, King Joffrey may be out of there.
You also said you don't believe it. So when I posted
I don't, but I mean,
I think they'll trade everybody else. But
no trades is spooky. Nothing. No moves is very spooky.
We'll see, man. But
then they need to call Travis Slink back and apologize for it, saying that they might need to trade him. Man,
that's why the pride won't let him do it. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the SplashCast episode 138. We had the pregame. We talked about the Super Bowl halftime show. We had HBCU news around the corner, news around the culture, football news around the league, basketball news around the league. Norwood, if we didn't miss anything, take us out.
Oh, man. Once again, it was another fantastic episode. Appreciate you guys rocking with us in the new year, 2024. Me and Reggie are doing our absolute best to give y'all the absolute best content on the planet. Once again, number one, more Black baseball. Number 2, more Black cowboys and cowgirls. Number 3, I'm calling audible here. This episode has been brought to you by Crown Royal and Dos Equis. Before we get to number 3, once again, salute to the Kansas City Chiefs. My little brother just won his 2nd Super Bowl. That puts him in an elite company as far as like the world is considered. Just not that many people have won 2 Super Bowls and even less that have won them back to back. Congratulations to Jared. Congratulations to the Chiefs. And Falcons, take notes. Number three, and the most important, the historically Black college university, your best friend went to, your cousin went to, your auntie went to, anybody went to, send some money over there. The historically Black college university in your neighborhood, the one that you go to for homecoming, step shows, Black History Month extravaganzas, since it's that time of year, whatever it is, please send some money over there. And then finally, the Hampton University, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the one that gave me and Reggie a degree, started us out on our wonderful careers. Please send some money. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the year that Hampton was founded. Please send some money. Outside of that, we really appreciate you guys. Adios, amigos.
Peace. We out of here. Love y'all. Be safe.
Peace.
We'll see y'all. I'll see y'all Thursday. We'll see y'all. I guess we're not doing Saturday Morning Live anymore. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
This is the SplashCast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition. Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's the SplashCast 24, 12, or 36 pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and, of course, via Instagram at thesplashcast.
I'm sitting here rapping with Jane. I'm thinking like, what is a game? These niggas is fighting for fame. Though you ain't famous, son, none of my favorites done. We beat the Lakers Suns in like 22. These niggas fakers, huh? Jameson is like my favorite run, and I'ma take the punch. I am aware of some. Wait, I am aware of some dick riders rocking pit vipers. I'm a script writer. You some internet haters get quick to buy it. I'm slick cruising with the Spitfires. Niggas like it, they some big buyers. I got big lighters, I'ma slide for the walls. Yeah, and it's a ball game. I'ma hit it, then I send it to home. I take my flicks and I take it to Vogue. I pose in these bitches like, whoa. And all these niggas do is smoke. You ain't nothing, your shit is a joke, you a poser. I ain't, like, you ain't nothing, your shit is a joke, you a poser. My nigga, word.